Welcome to Attenuation, a weekly podcast where two friends come together to drink beer, discuss beer styles and trends, and just generally ruminate on the meaning of life, aka beer. If you enjoy your time with us, we invite you to become a weekly listener and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, here is this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome to episode 70 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Hello.
How's it going, sir?
Awesome. I got a big beer tonight to celebrate 70 episodes.
Oh, nice. I have a big one, too. I guess I'll tell the story about my other one, but I wasn't quite willing to bust it out tonight. But you're going big. I know what you're drinking.
I'm going big, but it's my Friday night, so...
Yeah, if it was my Friday night, I'd join you, but it is not. I have to work tomorrow. I have to work in less than 12 hours, so.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. But I'm drinking pretty big beer anyways.
We better get to drinking.
Let's get drinking. All right, so we are going to have a cool topic today. We're going to talk about bottle sharing, hosting, attending.
Do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts. Have you ever done a bottle sharing?
No.
I realized I don't have enough friends to do a bottle sharing. Yeah.
I think this is kind of an adjunct episode to the Beer Friends episode, because I think first of all you have to make the beer friends to be able to have a bottle share, but I think you could seek them out. Like you could probably, I'm sure there are places, or there are some groups that you could break into that do them on the right, like a monthly bottle share or something.
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think about looking for a local bottle share. That's the move.
Yeah, for sure.
There's your number one tip of the episode. Go find a bottle share.
Yeah. And we're going to tell you all the things you need to know before you go to that bottle share, so you don't do something stupid.
Yes, we'll give you some good etiquette. So before we get into any of that, we have to do our favorite part of the podcast, which is the drink and beer segment. So the way this works is I introduce my beer, give some nose notes. Steven does the same. Then we cheers, drink, and give tasting notes.
It's the one thing in the episode we do know how to do. We have a lot of experience doing.
We're really good at drinking beer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was really excited about this. This is from I told Steven that I reactivated Tavor. I think I've mentioned it a few times. And I kind of did one giant box. I did a lot of damage, and then I uninstalled the app because
my box just shipped yesterday.
Did it? Nice. Yeah. So I think this is my new approach to Tavor is I'm going to do one box every 6 months.
Me too.
And just stock up on some fun stuff. So this is one I got from my new box. It's from Equilibrium Brewing, which is in Middletown, New York. And this is Swirls and Spirals. And this is my kind of stout. It's kind of a homage to both of us, Stephen, because it's an Imperial stout, of course, but then it has cinnamon toast crunch cereal.
That's my element right there.
Yeah,
cereal in my beer. I love that.
Yeah, it's perfect. Okay. And I'm the stout side.
I like it already.
It also has maple syrup, lactose, cinnamon, vanilla, and pecans.
Oh, sure, it's not going to be sweet at all.
Yeah. Oh, I got a huge whiff of cinnamon, right when I started pouring. It has no head.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it has a little. It poured.
Oh yeah, it kind of came up a little bit there.
Yeah, it poured unprocessed oil. Oh, the head is really forming now.
Oh wow, it just took a while.
Yeah, I have not seen that. Okay, actually, the number one thing I'm smelling is the pecan, and a really strong boozy scent. Cinnamon, vanilla. Those are the main smells. Pecan especially, which surprised me. But pecan, vanilla, cinnamon, a strong boozy note, a little bit of dark chocolate. This is going to be sickeningly sweet. I can already tell. All right, what are you drinking today, Steven?
Okay, this one's going to take a while to introduce.
Okay.
This one actually came with a whole insert in the box.
Oh, wow.
It was in a box, yeah. So tonight I'm drinking the 25th anniversary ale from Firestone Walker. The insert that came in the box gives a whole history and what exactly is in the beer. So basically, in 1996, they opened the brewery. So in 2006, they did a limited edition oak aged strong ale called 10 to commemorate the 10th anniversary. They brought in local winemaker friends to help them blend the finished product, and then they decided to do that every fall. So this is the 25th anniversary, so this is the 16th time that they've done this. And they basically, before the wine harvest really gets going, they bring in all these winemaker friends to help them create the anniversary ale blend. The final blend for this beer is Parabola, which is a Russian Imperial Stout. It's 41% Parabola.
Oh, excellent. Because Parabola is like one of the best beers ever made.
Yeah, it's so good. So that's a bourbon barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stout. Then 10% is Sticky Monkey, which is a bourbon barrel-aged quad. Okay, so another very strong beer. Deep, full-bodied, sweet. And then 28% is Tequila Barrel-Aged Merkin, which is a milk stout. It gets better. 13% is a brandy barrel-aged barley wine.
Oh, there's barley wine in there?
There's barley wine.
That's crazy.
And the final 8% is a whiskey barrel-aged wheat wine.
Whoa. I never even had a wheat wine.
And it's actually the wheat wine is co-fermented with white wine grape juice. So it's like a very much a beer wine hybrid.
Oh, super cool. Wow,
And
this
then-
is going to be insane.
Yeah, and then they list the names of the winemakers that came and helped them do the final blend. So they do a bunch of like different blends. Each person creates their blend, and then they do a blind taste test and cast the votes, and that's how they land on the winning blend.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's a really cool sort of history to this beer. And we kind of, in the pre-roll sort of talking about bottle shares, and a lot of times bottle shares are very much centered around bringing like your rare stuff, your big beers, because that's the setting where you kind of want to share that big bottle, right? You need people. Like those are beers that you want to taste and you want to share and you want to get lots of opinions on and stuff like that, and not necessarily have to drink it all by yourself.
And you're going to be sharing with like people that can appreciate it too, which is nice.
But I'm going to drink this one all by myself.
You're drinking it with me.
Yeah, that's true. But
I just can't actually drink any of it. Yeah.
It's the final ABV is 11.5%.
Okay. Mine's 11 too. I don't know if I said that. So we're on equal footing there.
I washed my beer glass out, by the way, with water.
I forgot.
So they recommend that you pour it about half full, a snifter glass, some sort of snifter, half full, or even a wine glass. I sort of compromised. I had to put it in my Pliny the Younger tasting glass, which is kind of a has a tall wine glass stem with kind of a snifter body to it. It's pouring, I wouldn't say it's like jet black. Probably looks pretty dark to Jason on the screen, but it's actually pretty brown. Yeah, it's not super, super dark. Very, very light head. Oh, the smell is so good. So the smell I'm getting off of it like right away is fresh baked bread.
Whoa,
like straight out of the oven bread. When I get my nose down into it, it's much more raisin. Yeah, like dark fruit. Sweet raisin, sweet plum, brown sugar, maybe just a touch of coffee and vanilla. Yeah. All right, that's what I'm getting on my nose. There's a lot on my nose. And even maybe like cherry too, like a dark cherry. There's a lot coming out of here.
I'm sure.
Like a what's the cordial cherry? Like a boozy cherry.
Ooh, I like that. I'm sure with that blend, especially as it warms, you're gonna smell a lot of things coming off of that.
As soon as I took it out, I've been like sitting on it basically.
Trying to warm it up.
Yeah, it actually warmed up pretty good. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I'm gonna kind of put my hand on the glass here to warm it up.
All right, well, cheers, sir.
Sorry I made you wait so long.
No, it's fine.
I
forgot to take my beer out, so it's still ice cold.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Okay. I didn't know if this was possible. I think this beer is too sweet for me. And I love sweet stouts, like dessert beers, but
yeah,
This is like on a whole nother level. Like the first sip, it tastes like you're just drinking maple syrup. That's how sweet it is. But I will say,
Yummy.
yeah, I don't know, it's too much. But I will say the complexity is there. Like they really nailed what they wanted to do. But I think they should pull out the syrup. Just if they could tone it down a little bit, because you really get it goes from the super like cloyingly sweet syrup, but then you get the pecan, the vanilla. I almost get like a flash of like a cola flavor, and then after that like initial set of taste, the kind of the development and aftertaste is literally cinnamon toast crunch, and then it has that because they put lactose in it too. The aftertaste is almost like it's reminiscent of like if you drank the milk in the bottom of the bowl after you had cinnamon toast crunch. That's what the finish is like. So it's so close to perfect execution of what they're trying to do, but I think it's too sweet.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs down, I think.
Okay.
Because I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it. It's so close to being perfect.
But it failed.
It's too sweet, which I never thought I'd say. So there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, too sweet is definitely a thing.
But I'll drink as much as I can. I'm definitely enjoying it, but it's just like every sip is like, whoa. So
okay.
How was yours?
Well, I'm also experiencing that every sip is a whoa, but it's a good whoa. This beer is really crazy. So right up front, I get this sort of like brandy soaked cherry.
I like that.
With this roasted pecan nuttiness, which is really good. Like that pecan cherry mix is really, really good. And then kind of this brown sugar sweetness turns into this boozy burn. I'm not sure. I can't really place. Maybe the tequila, that kind of spicy boozy burn. Anyway, I'm feeling the boozy burn. And then that melts away. And you are left with this vanilla chocolate coconut cream flavor, like more of your milk stout, kind of sweeter chocolate, definitely with a coconut finish. Oh man, it's so like you always do that thing with your hands, the like roller coaster hands of like different flavor profiles coming in at different times in the beer. This has like 3 distinct stages, and it's almost like all these beers are blended together, but each one in its own right comes up and shows itself and then backs up and lets another one come up. It's really weird.
That's like my favorite thing in the whole world. That's kind of why I like barrel aged stouts generally. You'll get that complexity where like between the initial sip and the swallow, there's like different stages are happening. I love that. It's so interesting. And it's when something like that, when you get that in a beer, you can just keep like, that's the kind of beer you would just want to sit and sip and kind of concentrate on, because there's so many things to like discover. And it's like weird and it sounds so beer snobby to say that, but it's true. Sure. This is true.
Yeah, no. And this is, I don't know, I think this is pretty appropriate for this episode, because really that is what you're going to do at Bottle Shares, is really, really sit with some of these big sort of rare white whale types of beer. And everyone's going to be doing that. So
you gotta have a bottle share.
I know, right?
So a big thumbs up on that one?
Big thumbs up, yeah. Firestone Walker, they always win. They just always win with me.
Yeah. Well, when you were listing what's in there, I hadn't had all those, but I've had the Velvet Merkin, the Sticky Monkey, and the Parabola. I haven't had and all 3 of those are amazing on their own. So I had a feeling it was going to be good.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so funny though, is you like drink this and you think like, okay, it's very similar to Parabola, especially the nose. The nose is very similar to Parabola with all the sort of raisin and toffee on the nose. But man, the fact that you get all of these beers in turn basically showing up throughout the tasting process, but throughout just one like a sip. It's crazy. It's crazy that it can even linger that long in your mouth to give you like that many distinct flavor profiles. But it's really cool.
Where did you get this?
Tabor.
Oh, okay. Because it's hard to get. Like, even Parabola is really hard to get. It'll be in the grocery store for, like, one day, and then they're all gone.
Yeah, I know why. It's good. It's amazing that amount of people come through the grocery store. Like, enough people in a day.
Yeah. Well, they get, like,
walk
5.
through the beer.
But yeah.
Yeah, but still, don't you think, like, even, like, 5 people walking through the beer aisle going, oh, crap, I gotta grab that Parabola. Mm-hmm. It's pretty interesting.
It is pretty cool. Although apparently if you go to Firestone, which someday I got to get out there, they have a bunch of all those like bottles.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
My friend went and then accidentally spent like $300 in their bottle.
accidentally.
I think he didn't realize like how, because they are expensive, like, and the bottles are little, but they cost a lot. But I was like, dude, it's fine. You just like built a cellar, just start aging them all, and you're set.
Yeah, you'll be ready for any bottle share.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to the any bottle share. Okay, so that was drinking beer, and next we have postscripts and beer news. Postscripts are when we fix things from previous episodes, or kind of like expand upon things from previous episodes. And then beer news is obviously self-explanatory. So I have a postscript that I realized I was supposed to do and never did. So I made the claim, which is a very popular claim, by the way, that during Prohibition, Laphroaig, which is an Islay Scotch, which is known for its very medicinal and peaty flavors, the rumor is that it was legal during Prohibition because, like, it's so rank. Like, even in the world of Scotch, I don't think a large percentage of people that drink Scotch don't tend to really like Islays because the only way I can describe it, it's like drinking a bog, if that makes sense. Like, it's this peat and vegetal and medicinal and salty and iodine. It's all these really kind of off flavors if you're not used to them. So the rumor was that it was legal during Prohibition because no one thought people would drink this for enjoyment. They thought you'd drink it as like a medicinal thing. So I found a Reddit post, and it's quite long. But the point of it is that this person tried to find like a single citation from like a newspaper or like anything like in the historical record to demonstrate that Laphroaig was indeed legal during Prohibition. And he couldn't find a single shred of evidence. He even has a link that it says that it was legal during Prohibition on the Laphroaig website. And when I click through to that link, it's a 404 broken link. So this is 5 years ago. I don't know, maybe Laphroaig took it down. Like it's correctly linking to their site, but whatever article was there is gone. So
interesting.
I fell victim to the hype of the story because it sounds like a really cool story, but it may or may not be true, but there's not a single document to support it that anyone's been able to find.
That's okay. That's the story we would all fall for.
So, anyways.
That's the type of romantic stories, you know.
Yeah, it's so romantic. Like
how a brewery got its name or whatever.
Yeah,
how
we're
a
into
style.
a lot of these. So, it is what it is.
All right, that was good. That was some good clarification.
Some good postscripts.
Okay, beer news?
Yes, beer news.
So I know we hate doing this type of beer news, but there are a few big closures happening. One is here in Austin. It's called the Fourth Tap Brewery Co-op. They filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy this week, which is, I believe, the bankruptcy where like Chapter 11 is like where you're coming back. Chapter 7 is you're going to liquefy your assets. And
yeah, is 11 like reorg or something like that?
Yeah. I think, yeah. And then, 7 is the kiss of death. Like, you're going to try to pay all your debts with all your assets and be done. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. That one kind of surprised me because I think we've talked about the Fair State Brewing Co-op in Minnesota or wherever that is. And this is that same kind of thing. It's the Fourth Tap Co-op, so it's got many different owners. But yeah, I just like Austin is so saturated. I honestly am not. I'm not totally surprised because the beer scene here is just you have to be constantly churning out really, really, really good beer here, or you just won't make it. And you have to stay super small. That's kind of key here. Just stay small and provide beer to your local crowd, because doing any more than that just is too risky here. There's too many options.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a lot. Like, it's been a frequent topic, and I think we're going to try to do some research and do a whole episode on it. But I think you're right. It's just very, very saturated. The market is so saturated that you can be pretty good now, but you have to be among the best of the best to survive now.
Yeah. So that's one of the closures here in this area. And then more out in Jason's area, Sierra Nevada, they have been operating a tap room called the Torpedo Room in Berkeley, California. They are closing that tap room, and they basically just cited some pandemic stuff,
some of the foot traffic that they used to get is kind of been waning over the last few years, and they just can't really keep it open. So they're closing that torpedo room in Berkeley. But other than that, I mean, their brewery's still thriving. They've still got the big brewery facilities and tap rooms in both Chico and Asheville, North Carolina. So, and those are still open. So they're just kind of pulling back. That's another thing we'll probably talk about if we do an episode about that whole thing. But that there's been a lot of that pulling back, stopping construction on, tap rooms and expansions that breweries are doing. There's been a lot of that where they just stop. They pull the plug on some expansion efforts because they just, it's just not worth it sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's smart. You're not supposed to chase good money or chase bad money with good money.
Yeah.
Or chase that sunk cost of you opened it, but sometimes you gotta the right move is to close it.
Yeah, before you lose more money. So not like super happy news, but definitely sort of related to the kind of changing brewery landscape out there. Breweries having to close or just having to kind of restructure or move their close just some of their tap rooms and kind of pull back. So that is happening. It's happening a lot.
I know, it's like a frequent topic in the beer news section. So, all right. So that was our beer news and postscripts. Do you want to move on to our main topic?
Let's do it. I'm going to pour some more of this 25th anniversary ale here before we get started.
Nice.
Okay, so bottle shares.
What is a bottle share, first of all?
Well, it's a group of people, lovers of craft beer, coming together, bringing their best beers to share with others and taste them and talk about them and give each other pats on the back for bringing the coolest beer, being the coolest beer drinker guy.
I do feel like there could be an element of bravado and...
Yes, definitely. Yeah, these bottle shares, I think, are definitely, you're getting into the group of people that are very, very serious about their craft beer. So I think even if you're new to craft beer and you've been invited to a bottle share, and we'll talk about some do's and don'ts and etiquette, but just know you're probably going to be rolling your eyes at some of the comments. But I get it. These are sort of my people because I appreciate these.
We'd fit
these
right
big
in.
Beers. I would definitely probably roll my eyes at some people too. But at the same time, only because I just try to be very self-aware and try to realize that I'm not as cool as I think I am. So that would help. But yeah, I think bottle shares are just kind of another level of, call it beer snobbiness or whatever. But it's just people who really, really love craft beer getting together, trying to bring their best beers for everybody to share, which I think is a noble goal. I think it's a fun thing.
Yeah, it sounds fun to me.
Yeah, right. And like I was saying earlier, it's a good way to share these big beers because a lot of these fancy beers coming in the 750 milliliter bottles and with high ABVs, and it's just you don't want to drink that by yourself. So if you can pass that around and everybody gets a 2-ounce pour, I think that's ideal.
You know what beer would have been ideal for a bottle share?
What's that?
The beer I'm drinking right now. Because 2 ounces of this would be perfect, but yeah, we've talked about that before. Especially a lot of the barrel aged Imperial stouts that I like can get up into the can get close to 15% ABV, and it's just don't really want to drink one of those on my own. So I will often bring them to get-togethers and share them. But then there always is a part of me that's this is a horrible thought, but it's not entirely wrong. But you're kind of wasting something amazing.
Like you're throwing your pearls to the swine or what?
A little bit, yeah. So that's kind of the allure to me of the bottle share. Is I'm happy to share stuff, but it's even more fun to share stuff with people who can appreciate what you're sharing with them. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really do think that's the point of these. You take the beers to the bottle share that everyone's going to appreciate, because that's ultimately what we want. We want to be we want the thing that we're super, super passionate about to be understood and appreciated by someone.
You just want to be seen, Steven.
Yeah, you just want to be seen.
For your super weird hobby.
All right, so we're going to talk about some simple guides, some simple do's and don'ts for bottle share. I thought the first one on this list from Craft Beer Austin website actually says follow the host or organizer rules. If you are the host, then make sure you tell them the rules. So there can be lots of different rules for a bottle share. Sometimes there's a rule that you can't bring or you have to turn your cell phone off and leave it at the door. So everyone's present. No one's looking
I like
up
that rule.
Beer Advocate or Untapped reviews or anything like that. It's very stripped down. Like you taste what you taste. No influence from outside sources.
I would be the guy looking things up on Beer Advocate.
No sharing things on social media. Right?
No flexing all those bottles. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to be present to the beer drinking experience. Stuff like that. Just making sure everybody knows the rules before they come over is important. And making sure you know the rules before you go if you're not the host. And then I guess the next most important is, what do you bring?
Your best beer, baby.
Best beer.
You got to flex.
How much of your best beer?
Oh, I have no idea.
So some of the basic guidelines are that you want to make sure you have enough to share with everybody.
Oh, okay.
So depending on so it's good to try and find out how many people are going to be there. If it's a small group and you have a 12-ounce bottle of something that's really good, you can get 6 people a 2-ounce pour each, then that might be enough. But if there's more than that, you might want to just leave that 12-ounce bottle at home and bring something bigger.
That makes sense because, your goal is to get a 2-ounce pour for... You want whatever you bring to be able to give everyone 2 ounces about.
Yeah. So it doesn't always matter that you want to bring enough beer to share, but that might mean that you need to bring 2 or 3 bottles. If you have 2 or 3 bottles of... Maybe you have a 4-pack or something that's really good, bring that. Or if you just have to bring 2 or 3 different beers, just to try and make sure you have something for everyone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Should you bring anything else?
It's funny because we were talking about this last week with the glassware episode, where if you're going to a party, do you do you ask the host for a glass so you can pour your beer out? So remember, at the bottle share, you are going to be among fellow beer snobs. Okay, they're of course pouring out these beers, okay, and they know the importance of pouring out a beer, so they may have glasses available, but also bringing your own glass is 100% acceptable in these situations.
It's a safe space, Steven.
It is a safe space for beer nerds.
Ooh, what glass would you bring?
I mean, I would bring probably just my tulip glass.
I'd bring my goblet.
I like that.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, this dude fancy. Yeah, goblet would be good. Yeah, I would probably just go safe and bring my tulip. Just put everything in a tulip glass.
Okay, that's cool. I like the idea of bringing your own glass.
Yeah, I love that contrast though between taking it to a random party and people being like, "What the heck, dude?"
Isn't that funny? The context is everything. Could you imagine for a goblet, so just a regular get together? Everyone would be like, "What is wrong with you?" And then if you brought it to...
You'd be the weirdest person at the party.
But if you bring it to a bottle share, people are like, "Oh, cool glass."
Nice, yeah. It's part of the experience, part of the conversation starter. I had to pour out another beer.
There was a tragic accident.
Yeah, where I lost half my 25th anniversary ale on the floor.
Of all the beers you could spill.
I know, I spilled that one.
It's all right. You appreciated it.
Now I'm drinking a Young Funkenstein from 512 Brewing here in Austin. It's a funky sour ale with dried cherries.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
I had to make sure I drank something fancy. It was very earthy. It was like dirt.
Well, the dried cherries makes me think it's going to be not sweet maybe, but the essence of cherry.
Yeah, you're right. It's very dry. It's much more tart and sour and dry. But it's good. It's good.
Good.
I like it. It's not Firestone 25th anniversary ale.
25th anniversary, yeah.
Not that complex, but that's okay. It'll still get me drunk. Okay.
Okay, so we have our beer. We have our glass.
Yes. Now.
Should I wear a cool brewery shirt?
Probably. I mean, you should for sure try to flex. You should wear your Kyoto
Beer Lab.
Yeah. Make sure people know that even when you're in Japan, you're searching out the best craft beer.
Craft beer, yeah.
Okay, another one I like. If you're a bottle share veteran, you need to embrace the noobs. Okay, you're gonna have people that have never been to a bottle share before. It's the first time, like me. I'm gonna be very nervous. Okay, I'm gonna want to make a good impression. The faces Jason is making while drinking his beer.
I'm sorry. Behind the scenes, we had a lot of behind the scenes.
Yeah, a
This
lot of
beer
behind
is
the scenes action today.
definitely a thumbs down. I've been doing my best, but it's gotten to the point where I cannot take another sip. This is like so. I feel like I'm drinking maple syrup.
Oh my god, I think I would like it.
I thought I would like it too. All right, I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll run and get another beer. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. So embrace the new people, okay? Because that will be me, and I will be so nervous about making a good impression.
Well, you never want to be the
And the beer I
gatekeeper.
bring would probably be stupid.
Yeah, don't make fun of him.
Yeah, just tell me it's good. And actually, so that's one of the big don'ts is don't be a jerk, because what if you're like tasting a beer and like, oh, this is skunky and this is infected. Somebody didn't sell it this right, and I'm like sitting in the corner being like, that's the one I brought.
Yeah, that's called. Well, it's maybe not that exactly specifically, but like the concept in general is known as gatekeeping. It's when like veterans of a hobby make noobs to a hobby like feel bad, which is so stupid because literally everyone was a noob at one time. So also you're like actively destroying your community if you're like you need people
Yeah.
to join your community so it can grow or at least like sustain itself. So like don't scare people away from your hobby. You're like defeating the whole purpose. You're reducing the number of people you can enjoy your hobby with.
Okay, so I love since talking about it a few times in this podcast about like gatekeeping a hobby. I just love that term, so I use it a lot now. And so I'm a big San Francisco Giants fan. They are playing some of the ugliest, worst baseball I've ever seen in my life. They're so hard to watch. And I was looking through the comments on a San Francisco Giants subreddit, and some guy was basically saying what I was feeling, like I can't even watch this team play. I just turn it off after a while. It's just so bad. And this dude gets on the comments like, you're not a true fan. If you can't suffer through the bad times, maybe go find another team. And I was like, oh yeah.
You get your popcorn ready?
Keyboard warrior status.
Yeah.
Because I got on there, I was like, don't gatekeep who can be a fan or not. Sometimes it's just not good and you don't want to watch it anymore. You turn it off. Like, it doesn't mean you're not a true fan. And he actually responded pretty nice, well to that. Like,
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You
you're right.
did a good internet argument.
I know, I won. Those are the only ones I get into. I basically never get into them. 'Cause I'm
Baseball
like,
ones?
somebody's going to be... No, just anything.
Oh, okay.
Like someone's like, I'm just going to sound stupid if I put a comment. But not baseball, because I know I'm always right.
You know a lot about baseball, so.
Actually, it's pretty funny. If you knew me, I mean, you know me, but
Yeah.
I'm speaking to the listener here.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe Jason would attest to this because I think he probably knows me this well. Like, I'm not confrontational. I'm like
Not at
very,
all.
very passive aggressive.
You're not passive aggressive. You're just not.
Just passive, I guess.
You're just passive.
Passive. No, I mean, it's probably worse. I'm less so as I get older because I don't care as much. But yeah, like I just don't like confrontation. I don't like weird, awkward. I don't like giving negative feedback, and sometimes I just feel like it's because if you put like a spotlight on someone else's bad things, then like they could just come back and spotlight your faults, right? And I don't want anybody to do that. But for some reason, when I'm on the baseball field, I have a whole different demeanor and confidence. And if there's like a bad call from the umpire, I have no problem like getting in the umpire's face.
You're like screaming
about it. Yeah, and it's like even me, like it's like an out of body experience because I'm looking at me from above, going, oh my god, I don't even know who that guy is. But I just know I'm right, and when I know I'm right 100%, that's when you'll see the real me come out.
And it's mixed with the passion and competition of the game.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
that's pretty cool. That's a good tangent.
You want me on your side when I know I'm 100% right.
You're like it's like the most interesting man in the world thing. You're like, I don't always argue with people on the internet. But when I do, I'm right.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so this is then the other opposite side of this, the being a jerk and giving your opinion too loudly would be to overpraise your own bottle. This is like it's like the apples to apples of the bottle share. You're like, oh, this one's gonna be good.
You're like your
It's
own.
probably
You're
gonna
your
be
own,
the best of the whole night. I'm pretty sure.
You're your own bottle's hype man. Yeah.
Oh dang.
That's
oh, my God.
yeah. That's pretty cringe. But I could definitely see like that coming into play. Like people are getting a little bit competitive about who brought the coolest thing, and yeah. As long as it's like friendly and fun.
Oh my gosh, I really need to find one of these bottle shares.
I know, you gotta look.
Because the experience I'm creating in my head is hopefully not cartoonish. I hope that it would actually be exactly like that.
I bet it wouldn't be too far from the truth. Yeah.
Okay. Any advice from you? Okay, what's the next?
Well, there's some good do nots that like, I guess this one probably doesn't go without saying. I would never do this because I don't know, I just could never imagine doing this, but they basically like don't open someone else's beer. Like generally there's going to be a flow to it. Like here's a good tangent. Did you celebrate Christmas as a kid?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys open your presents all at the same time or like one at a time?
No, like not really one at a time, but we kind of my dad was always like the one under the tree grabbing stuff, and he'd just kind of try to like be equitable about it. Like if you didn't have a gift, like he'd get one of yours and get you one. So we were all kind of opening a gift at the same time, but sort of like there would be a little bit of a moving focus, like, oh, this person's opening their gift now, and then you'd move to somebody else, but we'd all kind of have one ready.
Okay, it's a hybrid.
Okay, yeah.
So for whatever reason, I grew up like only one person opens a present at a time.
Okay.
And so I do feel like that's the vibe at like at the bottle share, like especially if you're all trying to taste the same thing at once. It's like something gets opened, gets poured for everybody, everyone smells and tastes it, and then you kind of talk about it. So just like walking over and opening a random beer and like pouring yourself
like some. Bro, we're not doing that one yet.
Yeah, like that's how I imagine it going down.
Well, I think I think both these articles that we're looking at mention it. So
well, I'm sure it happens.
It's a thing where you're just like, you're like, oh, I gotta get to this one.
And I really chalk that up to like, it's like the different Christmases. Because I remember, so as a person who grew up just opening one present at a time, I remember one of the girls I was dating, I like ended up at her family's house for Christmas one morning, and they were a family like where everyone opens simultaneously. And I'm talking like 20 people.
Okay.
And I was just like horrified because one, it's over in like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do like, look what I got, look what you got. And I was like, I remember just being horrified, like no one saw anything that happened. And like to bring the analogy to like the bottle share, it'd be like if everyone just opened everything at once and just like all drank it kind of like in small groups. And it's like, guys, everyone just missed everything.
Yeah, that would not work.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so wait, but you didn't like open all your presents and then move on to someone else to open all theirs, right? It was just one at a time.
Like, it was a rotation.
Okay.
But like,
yeah, I would say that's probably closer to what I did and what we do now with my kids than like simultaneous. It's not simultaneous.
Yeah. And like, a little bit of it is
something like while my kids are opening something.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Like to the kids, it's like a way bigger deal. But like as an uncle who considers myself like a very, very, very advanced gift giver, I want to see the reaction because I always give the best presents.
Well, and that's like,
I think.
I'm sure that's true. Plus, like, yeah, and then too, like, as you get older, you become a parent too, like watching your kids open gifts and watching them open the gifts that you gave them and are like they're gonna love. That's way more the enjoyment than like opening a gift.
Oh, so, yeah, I don't experience other than maybe drinking beer and a few other things. Like I don't experience joy. The only way I can experience joy is like vicariously through another human. Yeah.
Preferably a child, because their joy tends to be
it's more pure.
Uninhibited.
Yeah. They're still young. They still crave and enjoy life.
Yeah. That's where this whole adulting thing came from, right? Like the
Yeah.
idea of adulting, like, ugh,
It's like when you
not
have to do all
fun
the stuff that's
anymore.
not fun.
Yeah.
Or like
Which
the amount of things that are not fun eclipse the amount of things that are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because when you're a kid, you have like almost no, if you had a nice childhood, you had you had no job, you had no responsibilities. Like, do you remember how long summer break felt?
Mm-hmm.
It was like 2.5 months, but like when you're like 10, it felt like 100 years. Like it felt like it was never ending.
No, totally.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh my God.
Now a year goes by
Now
in
it does
2
actually
seconds.
feel long because my kids need to go back to school.
Oh. You're like, get out of the house. Yeah.
But even and my kids are very they just really like school, so
Yeah, that's cool.
they think summer is too long sometimes. Like, when's
Oh,
back to school?
interesting.
Yeah. That's gonna end probably
That's so nice that they still
soon.
like it, though.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
I know
school,
after
too.
school you want to go back, see your friends again.
I like school, but I also liked video games, so
Yeah, it's a balance.
I liked summer.
That's great. But yeah, no, I love that analogy to the how were you raised? Were you raised with a crazy Christmas, chaotic Christmas? Then you might go up and just open the
Yeah, you
next
might just
beer
start
without
popping up beers.
like, come on guys, you're taking too long. Let's get this going. Maybe we could see if there was a beer up there where you're like, ooh, I really want to try that, but there's not enough of that to go around.
You're like, I gotta get my pour.
But there is, that's one of the other things too. Like, don't over pour. Okay, make sure there's enough for everybody.
There's enough to go around. Yeah.
And have plenty of water if you're the host. Okay, that's important because, like I said, it is nice to have the ability to share your big beers with everybody. But all those 2-ounce pours are going to add up, as we know from the beer festival.
Adds up quick.
Adds up so quick. So drink lots of water, and then. Even better if you can have some food like cheese and crackers and chips and stuff. Keep people fed.
Yeah, a good palate cleanser too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the water too. Yeah, it's just a good palate cleanser. So, oh my God, it's funny. I'm looking at the picture. The author of the article posted a picture that says, "This is my first bottle share in Austin, Texas, and this is what it looked like." And it's just literally this table full of these open. Like big beers, Goose Island.
Don't you live in Austin?
I do. I know. I need to find these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looks like quite the bottle share. It is like a long table lined with bottles.
I bet all those are awesome too.
Yeah. So that's fun. All right. Well, that's bottle shares. It's a super, super nerdy, beer geeky thing to do. Not even really sort of on my radar, right? Not really on yours, just because we don't have enough friends to do them ourselves.
I feel like no one has enough friends that are really into craft beer. I feel like this is something you find that occurs in your town, and then you go.
Yeah.
And then you make friends with the people there.
Yeah, you have to sort of network. I will say, I have been to like technically a bottle share. So my slow pitch softball team, they would do a Christmas party every winter during the off season, and there would always be a theme. So usually it was some sort of spirit, like gin or rum or something, and you would like bring your favorite rum, bring your favorite gin, bring ingredients to make your favorite cocktail, whatever. And one year they made it beer, so bring your favorite beer. Now, like most of the guys on my team, and these are like some OG Davis guys that like they were definitely into some craft beer, but the Anchor and some of the like original craft beer that was still like lighter styles. They were not really heavy into the IPAs, but I was very excited about the beer that I took that night. It was Astronaut Ice Cream from Illuminated Brewworks, I think it's called, in Chicago. It's a double dry hopped double IPA with lactose, I think.
Did we drink one of those together?
We did.
On like in your backyard.
Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah, dude, I'll never forget that beer. It was so good.
Now I have to look it up because...
Is that what you brought to the...
Yeah, I brought an Astronaut Ice Cream.
Nice.
And, okay, so it's a double dry hop, double IPA with lactose. Yeah, I was right. And it is very hoppy. It's very, it's just you can't really wade into the double IPA world. They're just very in your face, aggressively hopped, and even hazy versions with sweetened with lactose, like it's just a lot. And if you're not a big hoppy beer drinker, in fact I think even when we were drinking it together, you were like, dang dude, you've graduated.
Did I say something like that?
Yeah, because it was pretty early, it was early-ish in my craft. It was like when I finally started to understand hops and started to crave them and want to drink stuff like that. And I remember pouring it, and you were like, dude, we're drinking a double dry hop double IPA. Never thought I'd be drinking this at your house.
Yeah, you're a real craft nerd now.
So anyway, I thought I was so cool taking that, and everyone, as soon as they drank it, were like, whoa!
They all hated it.
But guess what else I took as a backup?
What's that?
Briny melon.
Nice. I bet that was a hit.
And they loved it.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna hook them one way or another.
Yeah, exactly. They're either gonna love my amazing hoppy beer, or I'll just give them something sweet.
That sounds like a really fun tradition.
Yeah, it was cool. So that was like probably the closest I've ever been to a bottle share.
Super cool. So we gotta both. I guess our homework is to find. You have to find this bottle share if it still exists, because it's in your hometown. And maybe I'll do some research. I bet you that home brewing society I found. Yeah. Go to your old website, meetup.com or whatever.
I could start a group and find new people.
Yeah, there you go.
I could be the host.
Make sure you have good rules.
Yeah, no cell phones.
I like that rule a lot.
No beer advocate and Untapped reviews to help you. Okay. I want this to be organic.
All right, you start one, and I'll come out. All right, cool. Do you have anything else to add to attending a bottle sharing?
Nope. Just
right.
be cool.
Be cool.
Be human. What was it? I can't remember. Don't be weird.
I don't remember. Yeah, it was like, be yourself, but don't be weird or something.
Yeah.
A little bit of weird at a time. Cool.
Don't let it out easily. Okay,
yeah. Open it slowly.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is Attenuation Podcast. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Instagram at attenuation.podcast. You can also email us at contact.attenuation@gmail.com. And you can invite us to your bottle sharing if you have a cool bottle sharing.
Also, I was going to say, if you know of a bottle share, let us know.
Yeah.
Seriously.
We need friends. Oh, and you should give us a nice rating.
Like and subscribe and rate.
Yes. So, yeah. This has been episode 70 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
That's me.
We're saying cheers, and we'll see you next week for episode 71.
All right. Cheers, buddy.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Attenuation, a beer podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more fun content. Catch you next week. Cheers!